Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CARE Drop-Off Site quarterly webinar. My name is Lisa Meckes, and I am a Senior Associate with the California Carpet Stewardship Program. Also in attendance is Jared Zitron, Senior Associate and Primary Contact for those of you in Southern California, and Cheryl Duran, our Project Coordinator. We all appreciate your attendance here on the webinar. I also want to let you know that the webinar is being recorded. So the first order of business is always to orient yourself to the mute button on the GoToMeeting control panel and mute yourself if you haven't already done so. And for those of you who've called in on a phone, also please mute yourself on the phone. And now that you have muted yourself, I also want to invite yourself to unmute at any point if you want to ask a question or make a comment. And also, if you prefer to write your questions or comments, there's also a chat tab on the control panel that allows you to ask questions through written text. And we will do our best to keep an eye on the chat box. We do track attendance through the GoToMeeting attendee tracking system. So please take a look at the control panel and look for the attendees tab. And if your name is not listed, please write your name and all of the names of those in attendance in the chat box. I'm going to take a look right now. Looks like everyone is muted. That's great. All right. Got a good crew. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to jump into the content of the agenda. So on the agenda for program updates today is to welcome our new CARE program director, to welcome new drop-off sites, a carpet recycling program update, and an AB 901 reminder. So first, I'm just happy to welcome our new California Program Director. Thomas Coates has been named the new California Carpet Stewardship Program Director as of July 5th. And Thomas brings over 20 years of varied experience in the environmental field, and we are delighted to have him join our team and to take our growing program to the next level. And I also really want to thank Abby Bean, the Stewardship Program's grant manager, who skillfully stepped in as interim director over the past year. We're happy to have be working with both of them. Okay. And next, I would like to take a moment and just welcome 3 of our newest public drop-off sites. So McCourtney Road Transfer Station in Grass Valley, and Carpet Manufacturers in Commerce, and also Smart Demolition in San Francisco. So Jonathan and Howard and Alejandro, welcome to the California Carpet Stewardship Program, and welcome to the quarterly webinar. So next up is an update on our collection program, and currently there are 102 carpet recycling drop-off sites throughout California, serving all 58 counties. We are, however, looking to increase our number of drop-off sites, and particularly in Southern California. So if you have any affiliate locations or know of a waste recycling or C&D facility that would like to participate in the carpet recycling program, please let us know. And then here I have a bar chart showing the number of carpet recycling drop-off sites over time. And you can see that we started with 6 sites and have grown to 102 at the end of the second quarter of 2022. This is a bar chart showing the number of container swaps that occurred each year. We had 829 container swaps in 2021, and we've had 531 swaps at the end of the second quarter. Now, this slide shows a bar chart of the total pounds of carpet collected at all of the care drop-off sites by all of you folks. So in 2021, we collected 12.5 million pounds, and so far in 2022, we have already collected 7.6 million pounds. So it's looking good that we will surpass last year's totals, and we are obviously very pleased to see this increase both in diversion and public access of collection. So really great job, folks. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is a reminder for AB 901 reporting. And lately I've had a few people ask questions about your AB 901 reporting. So I've asked Cheryl Duran, the Stewardship Program Coordinator, to review the requirements and answer any questions that you might have. Cheryl,
Yeah, hi.
Are you here?
I am. Thank you, Lisa. I apologize for jumping in too early. Yeah, hi, everyone. Thanks again for your time today. Just a couple of overviews. AB 901 became active in 2019 and basically requires facilities that handle waste, recycling, and compost, and a few other required individuals. If you handle more than 100 tons of material per quarter, eligible material, you are required to enter a quarterly report in CalRecycle's Recycling and Disposal Reporting System, also known as RDRS. If your facility is not required to report, or you're not the person creating reports, we appreciate you bearing with us here while we go over the subject a little bit more detail to answer some of these questions. So essentially, if you do handle more than 100 tons per quarter, you would go into your RDRS account, and under the outflows in the system, you would want to select CARE as the recycler composter, and any weights that we haul for you or transport for you, or just that you send to our recyclers, you'll want to report that under our RDR number, RD12614. And the organization name is listed as California Carpet Stewardship Program, parenthesis CARE. And the material type you select is the standard. It's listed as carpet. That's how it's named in RDRS. And then what we do from there is then we report to CalRecycle our whole aggregated amounts from all of our public drop-off sites to the various destinations that we've routed that material to. So even though you may have other materials that you handle that is not part of the carpet program, all of the carpet does need to be reported in this way. And that's just because of the way that the law was structured and the reporting system was structured. It was a little bit of an oversight on their part on how to report this. So if you have any questions on that, you can reach out to me at my contact information. Most of you know who I am. If not, you can reach me at cduran@carpetrecovery.org. And one thing to note too is that for some of our specialized drop-off sites that handle reuse material, if it's going to be sold or transferred for reuse, you would not be required to report on that tonnage. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Cheryl. Are there any questions for Cheryl? All right. If you have any questions later, let me know. Thank you, Cheryl. I really appreciate it. All right, we're going to move into the operations portion of the webinar, and on our agenda we have a visit from Wes Nelson from GreenWaste Carpet Recycling, and also operational reminders, best practices for carpet collection. Okay, let's start with Wes Nelson from GreenWaste Carpet Recycling. First, let me make sure that you are here. Wes, are you here?
Yes, I am here. Thank you very much.
Great. It's so good to have you. And before you jump in, I would just like to give a bit of an introduction. So Wes Nelson is the sales and marketing manager for GreenWaste Carpet Recycling, which is a division of Green Waste Recovery, and it's based in San Jose. He has been a primary contributor to the California Carpet Stewardship Program since its earliest days back in 2011 and before. So he is on the California Carpet Advisory Committee, and in this picture, he is accepting an award given to GreenWaste Carpet Recycling for the Recycler of the Year. And he is here to give us an overview of GreenWaste carpet recycling operations and the role they play as a care collector sorter. And I have to also mention that he's just an all-around good guy. So, Wes, happy to have you here, and just let me know when you'd like me to advance the slides.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa, and thank you all for joining on the call today. This actually my pleasure to be on the first quarterly site call, and we do appreciate all of you being a part of the CARE program and the California Carpet Stewardship program and helping us divert post-consumer carpet from our landfills. I do recognize a lot of names that popped in I've known for many, many years. I appreciate seeing you on the call, and all of you that I don't know, hopefully someday I'll get to meet. But Lisa, did you want to go ahead and progress through the slides as we start? There we go. So anyway, our process is fairly simple. There's 5 steps, and it all starts with this picture here of what we call, or what I've called, the perfectly loaded trailer. I know most of you may not have the time to do this. It is time consuming to some degree, but these are the types of trailers we like to see come into our facility for a couple reasons. Obviously, because it gets us more carpet and diverts it from the landfill, but it also helps pay, you're not paying for air as far as transportation costs are. As we know, those have skyrocketed here over the last couple of years. So the more carpet you can get in that trailer, the freight's the same, whether there's carpet or air in it. So we appreciate seeing more carpet. And I know CARE does also, since the program absorbs those transportation costs. So next slide, please. So this is actually our skid steer, just unloading the carpet. And this is a pretty easy process. On average, a 53-foot trailer takes us approximately 20 to 25 minutes to unload. These guys are artists when it comes to operating a skid steers. I'm sure most of your operators are also. Next slide, please. So once the carpet's unloaded from the trailer, we go ahead and stage it. You'll see this is one of our many covers to keep the carpet dry. Fortunately, we don't get a lot of rain in San Jose, so it allows us to use the large yard in our facility. We also have a warehouse building, which will be pictured in a next slide coming up. But this is basically the staging area, and then we go to our next step. Next slide, please. So now one of our staff here is using what we call an infrared spectrometer, which is a fancy word for an analyzer gun. And what we do is one by one, piece by piece, we analyze each piece of carpet to determine what type of fiber content is on the face of the carpet or the carpet that you walk on. So this determines which carpet can be recyclable and non-recyclable, which I can get into that a little bit later because we've seen major strides in the advancement of technology to allow us to process more carpet. So next slide, please. So after the carpet is analyzed, it's basically divided and segregated by the carpet fiber type. Some of those fiber types would include nylon 6, nylon 6/6, PET, which as most of you know is made out of recycled PET bottles, water bottles, which the carpet industry is actually one of the largest users of PET water bottles in the country, by far, actually. So after PET, there's another product called PP for polypropylene. And then we also have other various commercial broadloom carpets. And then we have contaminated carpet. Generally, contaminated carpet is that has mixed fibers in it, which is currently unable to be recycled or processed. Some of them are, but not most of them. Another contamination problem for us is wet carpet, especially during the winter, obviously. Also, any kind of stain or paint or varnish from people that like to paint and stain sloppily while their carpet is still down, which some people do, unfortunately. So this is just basically our segregation piles, 2 of our like 6 different piles. So next, please. And this is the skid steer loading up each individual pile. So it's kind of like playing cards. You know, we're just segregating all the different cards. And then once we have enough of one particular type of fiber, we load it into this box here, which is then taken to our baler to be baled. So next slide, please. So after they're baled, then the bales are segregated again by fiber type. We usually try to run 1 fiber at a time to keep it simple, because we do have to clean out the baler to keep any contamination levels between fiber types for our resources. So this is our larger warehouse, just showing some of the different fiber types. And once we get enough obviously built up, then we go ahead and call in the trailer or container and have it shipped to our resource. Next slide, please. And this is just showing stacks of neatly stacked nylon 6/6 here, which is one of the higher volume products that we do see. And just a little history on the fiber types, as I mentioned earlier. Back when I started in this business, I've actually been in the flooring business my entire life. I was a distributor sales rep that called on retail floor covering stores, selling different various floor covering products to retailers and box stores. So when we first started in the recycling industry, there was only 2 types of carpet that we were recycling. It was nylon 6 and nylon 6/6. That's all anybody wanted. And at that time, unfortunately, a lot of it, about 80% of it, was going overseas, which we weren't excited about, but most of the folks on the East Coast just didn't want our carpet, mainly because of the transportation costs to go across the country versus a container going to China or Vietnam or some of the other locations it went to. Fortunately, after about 3 or 4 years, that flip-flop, Kier did a wonderful job, especially with the grant programs and working with advanced technology to get more West Coast processing. So we are now currently exporting 0 amount of carpet, which is very exciting for us because it stays here domestically first and foremost, and secondly, it stays in California with a couple of our processors. So we're really excited about it. So next slide, please. This is just a friendly reminder that we also recycle carpet tile. This is a staging area for our carpet tile. As you can see, it's neatly packaged per our requirements. So we like to have them palletized, well, segregated by different types of carpet tile, then palletized, shrink wrapped, and strapped. And that's mainly for transportation purposes because we've seen some pretty ugly loads come in when these pallets start to tip over in the trailers, and then it just increases our labor costs because then we have to clean it all up and restack. Very time consuming. So this is just a staging area for that. And another bit of news that it just occurred at the beginning of this year that I'm not quite sure if most of you are aware of, at least I'm pretty sure it brought it up earlier in the year, but we now have the fortunate benefit of being able to recycle all the commercial broadloom carpet, which in our history has never been done until the first of this year. So fortunately, again, due to some CARE grant money and technology collaboration with CARE and a couple resources, we now have avenues to accept, which we never accepted, commercial broadloom. Now we do, and we're excited about that. So don't hesitate to throw your commercial broadloom products in there. If you do have any commercial flooring contractors or demolition contractors within your region. So next slide, please. And this is our operations guy, my right-hand man, my partner in crime, as I like to call him, Marty. Marty and I believe he's been on quite a few of your calls too. Marty's been in the industry actually a couple years longer than I have, and we work very well together, and we appreciate each other for what we do. So Marty handles all of our transportation operations and logistical matters, and then I handle all the sales and marketing and our outreach and education programs, along with taking part in various organizations. We belong to the Northern California Recycling Association, CRRA, RRCC. Let's see, I'm also a board member of the California Product Stewardship Council. And as of yesterday, I'm the newly elected chairperson for the California Carpet Advisory Committee, which is handled and covered by Cal Recycle. So I believe that's all we have, Lisa. So if anybody does have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wes. Does anybody have any questions for Wes?
I believe there's one more slide, Lisa, correct?
Oh, yes, there is.
Nope, not that one. Okay, I thought there was oh, that's okay, the contact slide. Okay, great. So there's my contact info if anyone does need to get a hold of me.
Any questions for Wes? I want to give us space in case anybody has any questions about their carpet heading to him or what they do.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Debbie at Recycling in San Francisco. A question I have, a few webinars ago, sometime last year, or it might have been the year before, a video was shown, of a trailer being loaded with a loader with the carpet being pushed in. So I saw that the type of equipment that you guys provide are a 40-yard roll-off. So what we need is a 40-yard roll-off to top load carpet inside that box with our loader. Carpet and padding only.
Debbie,
actually, that's that's something that Lisa provides. Yeah, Lisa can talk to you about that.
Okay.
You know, for a while we didn't have haulers that were hauling 40-yard roll-offs, but now we actually have somebody in San Francisco that might be able to do that for you. So we can talk about that because I think it might be possible at this point for you.
Okay. Okay, very good. Yeah, that's in addition to our other two trailers, we need that one also because we're starting to get a lot of carpet that's not rolled, and we just don't have the manpower to roll carpet to put inside a trailer.
Yeah, I get it.
Top loading. Yeah, top loading would be our only alternative.
Okay, good. Thanks for letting us know. Let's make that happen.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you very much for bringing that up. And yes, we do have quite a few sites that do prefer the top loading method, and some of them actually self-haul, which is again another topic you can take up with Lisa. But first and foremost, I really want to appreciate those of you that are part of the program in the greater San Francisco area, as far as city and county of San Francisco. As you know, it's very difficult as a recycler for us to place trailers and containers in the city limits of San Francisco just because of the pure density. And as you know, there's not a lot of space, and most customers in the retail flooring business would rather have that space for their customers to park in lieu of a carpet recycling trailer. So it's very difficult for us to place containers in the city of San Francisco, likewise city of Los Angeles. So if there's anyone out there that's helping our cause, so to speak, in the city of Los Angeles, we really appreciate that. So thank you.
Any other questions for Wes? Yeah.
Lisa, I don't know if it's specifically to Wes, but Christopher Foley is asking a question in the chat box. His question is, doesn't the carpet need to be rolled fiber side out?
No, a good question, Chris. This was an old message that I'm surprised it might still be out there, but no, carpet does not need to be rolled fiber side out. You know, we like to have it rolled so that it keeps it cleaner, it's easier to handle, but it does not need to be rolled. It does not have to be rolled, and it does not have to be rolled fiber side out. Thanks for asking. Anybody else? All right, Wes. Thanks for having on, and we really appreciate your knowledge and obviously your partnership and all of the work that you do over there at GreenWaste Carpet Recycling. So thank you.
Great. We appreciate the ability to be on the call. We appreciate all of you for being part of the program. So have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so we're back to the agenda and to just operational reminders, best practices for carpet collection. So here's a slide you've seen before, but these are the target weights for each container type. Please jot down the target weight for the container type that you use at your facility. And now that we are in summer and with more chances of fire, hasn't been too many this year, which is great so far. Just please note that carpet that has significant smoke damage cannot be recycled and will need to be discarded. I also want to remind you to make sure that everyone at your facility knows that you collect carpet for recycling. Sometimes we are contacted because someone from the public has reached out to one of our drop-off sites and then told that they don't collect carpet for recycling. So please check in with your customer service representative. Sometimes those people are off-site, or your scale house staff, and just make sure that new operations folks or other staff that interface with the public know that you collect carpet for recycling. Okay, next on the agenda is feedback and best practices. And I always like to take a moment to express our appreciation and give some special recognition for all the hard work that you do. And today I want to give some thanks to those of you who have really diligently attended this quarterly webinar. And I, first of all, appreciate all of your attendance in these webinars. And I want to give a special shout out and thanks to those who have attended this webinar really consistently for years. So Luisa from Advanced Disposal in Hesperia, and Sergio from Bina Sanitary in Bakersfield, and Kip from City of Santa Cruz Resource Recovery Facility, Grant from Del Norte in Oxnard, Jose from Edco Recycling Transfer Station in Signal Hill, Adon and Rochelle from Fremont Recycling, Sam from Mariposa Landfill, and Debbie from Recology in San Francisco. I really thank you for your consistency and your participation. And again, we appreciate everybody who comes and attends this webinar. We do try to make the content valuable for you. Okay. Next on the agenda is what is working and what is not working. And this is your opportunity, or really it's our opportunity to hear from you. So I want to open up the conversation so that you can give us feedback, positive or negative, and share challenges and best practices. And if you would like to speak, please unmute yourself. And if you're not equipped with a microphone, please write your questions or comments in the chat box, and we will try to keep an eye on the chat box. And I will make time to bring up any subject, again, positive or negative. But first, I would like to hear from you about carpet tile recycling. We have had a lot more recycling outlets for carpet tile these days, and we are seeing more carpet tile coming in. So I just want to hear from you, or hear your experience. Are you seeing more carpet tile out there? Are you collecting it? Are people contacting you about it? Are there issues? Are you learning any things you could share?
Hello, this is Debbie from Transfer Station in San Francisco.
Hi,
and when we first started working with the carpet, we used to mix our loads with the carpet, the padding, and the carpet tiles. And then we had a few safety issues with a couple of employees stepping on one of the pallets or a roll because we had a tile in the way. And then the structure of how the trailer was loaded, because one day we would have carpet tile, then the next it would be carpet rolls and then tiles. So the trailer was really mixed. So we decided to go on having exclusive trailers for the tile and the carpet. And we're finding that with that format, we're sending out 2 to 1 on the carpet tiles.
Oh.
And then the issue with the carpet tiles that we have is that I'd say 90% of our carpet tiles come in loose. So we have to stack that carpet tile manually. So that's also an additional time-consuming issue. But when we get the 40-yard box, so we'll have the three types of loading equipment, and we'll be able to get more carpet out.
That's good. That's good to hear. I didn't realize it was 2 to 1, first of all. So that's good to hear. And also, I'm curious, if people contact you, and ideally, giving them instruction on how to bring it into you. Also, it's a cue to us to do more outreach so that demolition people and contractors know to palletize the carpet tile. But Debbie, I appreciate you making that call to use a second trailer specifically for tile, and thanks for letting us know.
Lisa?
Lisa, could I make a quick comment?
Of course.
Yes, thank you very much, Debbie, for bringing that up. And fortunately, your facility has the space for additional trailers, where I know most of you don't. But we do appreciate the hard work and effort you're putting into that, and it does make our job a lot easier. Naturally, you saw the skid steer unloading the trailer earlier in that picture, and when we have mixed loads of carpet tile, palletized, and then rolled carpet on top of it, as you can tell, it's very difficult for that skid steer to unload a trailer. On a bit of good news, and I just saw Justin's comment, Justin Alder. Thank you for that comment, Justin. By the way, you're correct. Our biggest obstacle with collecting more carpet tile is the fact that most Bay Area, or most contractors in general, I speak of Bay Area because we're in San Jose naturally, they really don't want to spend that additional time palletizing, segregating, strapping, wrapping carpet tile, and we get that. Most of them that do are doing it because they're mandated to recycle the carpet tile, which is fortunate for us. But on a good note size, we are hoping at GreenWaste by this time next year, hopefully sooner rather than later, that we will actually start our own carpet tile packaging program. The reason for the delay, it sounds simpler than it isn't, but it is very labor consuming, as you're all aware of. Our labor rates in the San Jose area are just as high, if not higher, than most of your areas. But we are looking at possibly relocating to a larger facility by this time next year, which will enable us to have more working space to do that. So I'm hoping by this time next year we can have great news for all of your sites and say, throw that loose carpet tile in there and we'll take care of it. And I'm sure CARE is looking forward to that day also. So thank you, Lisa.
That's great news, Wes. I've said on this webinar many times that we're kind of in a evolution with this material type, and that we try to keep people updated as it changes. So that's something to look forward to. Anybody else have any thoughts or contributions about carpet tile?
Lisa, this is Tony Gama over here in San Leandro.
Hi, Tony.
How you doing?
Good.
Question for you is, on your website, do you have either video or information to where how to do the pallets correctly for the tile?
We do have a video that we just created specifically for the union, but we probably could put something else together. But essentially, we don't have something like that specifically. But it would be nice to create. And just I think you know this, but you want to sort by backing type. Use a standard size pallet and stack to 4 feet high, and then wrap with plastic and strapping.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I've heard some stories. I'll say this about carpet tile. I think of it as coming into the Bay Area, but I've heard more stories of carpet tile showing up in rural areas, especially when it's required by lead projects. So certainly, if you get somebody calling you with a request for recycling tile and you don't remember exactly what needs to be done, certainly reach out to us, and we'll help you share that information with whomever is the demolition or contractor on how to properly prepare the tile so that we can get that recycled. And again, we're seeing more and more of it, so it's good to see that. Anybody else before I move on? All right. Well, I'm also going to say I started with carpet tile, but is there anything else in terms of what's working or what's not working that you would like to bring up now? Any other topics? All right, then. Yes. Yep.
Right, Mrs. Debbie again. Do I need to reach out to Cheryl to have that 40-yard brought to our facility, or?
You could reach out to both Cheryl and I. At this point, we have just a new hauler that would potentially offer that. So reach out to both
Right.
of us, and we'll make sure that you have that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Debbie. Okay, we're coming to the end of our agenda. Do any of you have any final questions or comments? All right, well, I have one announcement, which is that our next quarterly webinar will be on October 20th at 11 o'clock. Jared Zitron will be hosting the next webinar, and please add it to your calendar. All right, and we are complete. Thank you for your attendance. We really appreciate you coming on to the webinar, and I hope you have a great day.